guess I didn't press it in there hot enough or something. So it was a kind of a mess, but anyway, such is life, I guess. So anyway, it was, the Huskies were ahead, and it was 1 minute, I don't know, 50 seconds ago. It was, what was it, 26 to 21, I think. I think that was the score. So anyway, so I don't have a whole lot to share right now, so let's just send it back. KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
UHK, the sleepiness that happens after dinner. Yeah, I had a little steak and potato and some cheese on top and some cooked onions, fried onions, and I took a little lay down for about 12 minutes here before the net, just because I wasn't going to make it otherwise, because I'm lucky that I kept awake. So, but here I am. It's kind of been a slow day. We went up to the house, did a little bit of work on my ham station table up there, kind of organizing wire. I have the stuff that you kind of wrap. You kind of put your stuff into like a tube that has a slit all the way down the side of it. It looks like like accordion tube kind of thing or something. And so I was kind of arranging my wires so they look a little less cluttered, a little easier to see past things. And so that's what I did today. So I'm going to pass it back. KF7, USK.
7 UHK, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, looks like everything is working. Oh, my face is really orange. I'll have to fix that. The white balance on this camera sometimes gets confused. The green background there messes it up. I guess this is a sleeping day because I have actually been doing much better with my sleeping at night and not having to take naps during the day. But today, this afternoon, quite unexpectedly, I thought I was going to lay down for a few minutes, and next thing I know, about 3 hours later, my alarm woke me up. Yeah, so I'm not mobile tonight as I intended to be. The side effects from the drugs I already stopped taking are still kind of with me. I was very much looking forward to those going away soon. What else is happening? Well, we've been having weird little technical things going on here tonight. I'm not sure the state of the repeater at the moment, but streaming is back up to YouTube at least. Hopefully the repeater also is working. I guess that's what I have for now. We had a good meeting today. It's good to see everybody that came to the meeting, and you know, things are going well. Things are going well with the club. I'm very happy and excited with all of the changes, and looking forward to seeing what comes next. All right, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Let's go to a very cool Richard down in Arizona, K7ITX.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Dave. And hello, everybody. Well, you know, don't hold your breath, but it was raining just a little bit ago. So, I know it's a shocker, isn't it? So, it's actually pretty pleasant to see rain here. So anyway, and then it has cooled down quite a bit. We're basically now hovering in the low 70s to high 60s, and it's just very, very nice and comfortable outside. So I'm pretty happy about that. Got my flu shot today. I think I might be feeling a little bit rocky from it. You know, maybe I guess if I remember correctly, a flu shot gives some people a real minor case of the flu that might last just 12 maybe that's what I'm experiencing. I hope that's all it is. So anyway, again, it's great to see everybody. And Ron, same thing happens to me whenever I eat. I get very, very groggy, and yeah, just like Bob was saying, all it takes is just to sit down and close your eyes for a second, and next thing you know, it's an hour or two later, and you go, what happened? Okay, well, let's send this back to net control. K7ITS.
ITX. Well, let's go down the list to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, everyone has been napping today. I would normally be napping, but I did not. Instead of napping, my wife and I both slept in. She set an alarm, but I don't know what went wrong. Anyway, the alarm did not go off, and so we slept in, so it was not necessary for me to nap today. And usually I would be unable to sleep in, so I don't know what it was, but I was able to sleep like an extra hour or so today, where I normally would have gotten up all on my own. Not sure what that means for all of us. By the way, tonight we turn our clocks back 1 hour, so we gain an hour of sleep tonight. Isn't that ironic? There's something, I don't know, something strange there. I don't know what. And let's see, Jessica did some housekeeping around the ham shack. Good for you. That's a good thing to do. And Dick, raining in Phoenix? My goodness. The 2 years / 3 summers that I was there, believe it or not, they had 2 100-year floods. And it didn't rain in Phoenix. It's just it rained like in the mountains, and it rained very hard. And all of the water came down the washes. And there were roads that were blocked. There were roads that could not be passed. Anyway, interesting. Rain today in Phoenix. Well, it rained here today as well, Dick. So maybe someone's trying to make you homesick. I don't know about that one. But anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, and for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'll pause in case anybody wishes to join the net. And again, cautioning, if you're using 147.08 for the 08 machine, you will need a tone of 103.5 to participate in the net. I'll pause now. This is Dave, KD7ZYM for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net.
Dave Wade has joined the net. I think you didn't get him on the list. Back to you, K9PQ.
K9PQ, all I saw was a mystery guest on the list. I didn't see an ID, but I'll call on Wade now. W7ATS.
Oh, there I am. Can somebody switch me into RF? Or I could do that myself. Let's see here. A lot of things going on. I've been doing some testing on 6 megahertz bandwidth, and I found out that the RTL dongle that I have apparently doesn't receive anything above 900 megahertz. At least with the Windows drivers. I did get a message back from one of the guys guys that I found on the internet that got one of these to work with stuff in the 1.2 gig range. He says you have to use Linux, and there's a patch that you can get that allows it to receive more bandwidth. So I'm going to switch myself in, because right now it looks like I'm just coming in over Discord. So I'm going to switch myself in now. Just take me a second to switch the repeater. There we go. And let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. There we go. I'm coming in on RF now. You should be able to see me if you're on YouTube. It might take a few seconds to catch up. As I said, I'm working on the cheap dongles to get those to work with our repeater. So I'm hoping to getting a few more tomorrow. I ordered a few and they're so cheap, so I should be getting 3 tomorrow. I'm going to test them all, and if they don't work, we're just going to have to see if the Linux route will work. If the Linux routes work, anybody that wants to use those dongles will have to have a Linux PC to decode 23 centimeters. But I think that's a good compromise, not having to pay a substantial more amount of money. I think last time I checked, I think the ones that we're using are about $250 that do the 1.2 gig, the receivers. So I had a late dinner tonight, so things went a little rocky getting back home because it took a while to get my dinner, and I ate that quickly, and then it's only like a 3-5 minute walk, not walk, but drive from the restaurant to my house. So I'm not sure if Ron, if you're able to see the signal yet, but it should be coming in. I do see my signal on my side, so it seems to be working. It is blanking in and out. I don't know if there's some weather conditions up on the repeater side that are causing some interference, but I do see myself. I do keep kind of blanking. That's pretty much it for this round. This is Wade, W7ATS, back to net.
ITL, Wade, thanks with that. Well, up next is James, WW7N.
Dave, good to hear everyone tonight and see everyone. And yeah, at Southhand we're making good progress, trend-setting progress here. Well, Ron, I can sympathize with clothes repair projects. I've got a whole pile of things that need stitching up, and what I need is a sewing machine. There's just something about a sewing machine that makes a really tight stitch. It doesn't come out. Every time I sew it up with a needle and thread, it takes twice as long, and it all seems to fall apart, just as soon as you get it done. But yeah, I remember using those iron-on patches as a kid, and they always seemed to stick, and they worked just fine for quite a while. And maybe it was just because I was a kid and I grew out of the clothes, but I don't remember them coming off. But yeah, the ones I got some of those recently, and they must be using some kind of environmentally friendly glue or something, because I don't think they stick as well. Jessica, wiring cleanup is always a good thing to do. I have quite a rat's nest under a desk here I should really take care of, and you've inspired me. I'll have to do that. Big event for me today is I rode in a Tesla truck. And I don't know if you've ever sat inside any of those vehicles, but there's absolutely nothing there except a gas pedal, a brake pedal, a steering yoke. It doesn't have a steering wheel. It's more like a yoke like inside of an aircraft. And then there's a computer screen, and that's it. There's nothing else. All of the dashboard is just nothing. Well, this particular vehicle can drive itself, so he put it on automatic drive out of my neighborhood and through my neighborhood. And I found it stressful because I was sort of like holding my breath every time, a car would come at us. The most difficult thing it did was a person, a car on each side of the road, and a car coming at us, and it managed to handle all that. To me, that's, really impressive. I can't imagine how many millions of lines of code do that, but that was really, really impressive. And Bob, I thought you said you were going to be mobile tonight, but when I look at you, it looks like you have a background behind you. So clarify if you're on the roads tonight or if you're in your place tonight. And there's rain in Arizona. This must be a portention of things to come with the election on Tuesday and everything. Let us know if you have frogs and locusts in Arizona there, and then we'll know for sure that it's a trend. 3 makes a trend. And of course, as Jim says, yeah, we're going to Pacific Standard Time tonight at 1 o'clock. As a service, I can call all of you at 1 a.m. in the morning and have you set your clocks back 1 hour, or maybe it's 2 a.m. and you set it back to 1 a.m. I'll have to figure that out. And, you know, half of us are awake at that hour of the night anyway. But I was just looking at the clocks around here. I have an amazingly small number compared to what it seemed like we used to have in the olden days in my 6-person family house. We had lots of clocks there that had to be taken care of twice a year. Always gets me is the one in my vehicles. You know, 2 or 3 weeks from now, I'll think I'm an hour late to something or an hour ahead of time and realize I didn't get them. So I'll be sure to get them tomorrow. That's it for here in Northeast Bellevue. This is James, WW7ATS. Let's turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
WU7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. I got 47 degrees outside with a little drizzle that's going on. Beautiful sunshine this morning, and it was dry, but it started clouding up this evening with a little bit of rain. But weather forecast tomorrow morning is up through the afternoon supposed to be without rain, so be looking forward to that. I've been working on cleaning up my ham shack, getting ready for amateur digital television. So I've got my monitor in place and my two receive and transmit lines and a 20 amp 12 volt power supply ready to plug in, and a power strip to take a couple of wall warts. So I think I'm about ready to do that. And I got a camera that unfortunately is not digital, but it will be a good thing for testing. I did find I had a digital camera, and it needs a special HDMI mini plug that goes into the camera to output to a standard HDMI plug. So I'll be looking for that. Probably go by Best Buy and see if I can find an adapter or a cable that does that. So anyway, I'm looking forward tomorrow to host Bob and to host Bob and Wade to come over to install the hardware to get digital television working from my place and possibly get an antenna rotated around so it's in the first best position for transmitting. It's okay for receive, but unfortunately it's pointing over to Bremerton at this point. The wind picks it up and it rotates around on the shaft on the pipe that it's installed on. So anyway, hopefully we'll get that fixed and ready to go, and I'll be 100% digital TV in the future. And for Ron, the seamstress, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you had such talent. But you do well with ham radio, so you can't deny that, and hunting and fishing. You do have some great hobbies other than being a seamstress. And thanks for the background on the Husky football game. Jessica cleaning up the ham shack. Boy, it always gets messy. I don't understand how that happens. It seems like you go to remove the stuff you don't need and you put it in a pile over on the other side of the room and thinking about maybe getting rid of it, and then pretty soon it migrates back to its original place. So that is how that goes. And Richard, cooler and rain down in Arizona. Boy, I imagine that rain is kind of a slick thing to do. And Jim, sleeping in. Boy, I think I like that. That's a good thing to do. And Wade, thanks for doing the dongle test, so it'd be an inexpensive way to receive the 1.2 gig picture transmission from the repeater. And James, oh my gosh, sleeping a little bit, that's always good to do. And then getting down to Jim, just waking up and taking a 3-hour nap. I like that. It's a good thing to do. running a Tesla truck in auto mode. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I would think I would like to have my hands near a steering wheel and my foot very close to a brake pedal if I need it. But anyway, such is progress as it goes along, and congratulations for being brave enough to go out and test out this, relay the information on to us. So with that, let's go to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks again, Dave. Ron, KD7QKU. Yeah, I saw one of those Tesla trucks. It's really ugly. I hate to see it. I don't know what they sell for. And they're kind of big and actually kind of high off the ground. James is nodding up and down. So yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't sound like it's very pretty inside. He didn't talk about the seat, the upholstery and stuff. I don't know if it's comfortable. Sure didn't look comfortable when I saw it parked. I just saw it pretty much parked. So anyway, somebody just texted me. So I'm not getting any picture over here at my house at all tonight. So Friday afternoon, it was, blue sky and sunshine, and we tested, and I got a picture, but right now, zero, nothing. So, let's see. The last time I looked, the Huskies were ahead, and it was like in the fourth quarter, and it was like a minute and, 50 seconds or something. So hopefully they won. My temperature sending unit out in the yard quit today. It had worked fine for a couple of years, but maybe the rain finally got to it. So I had another one, a new one in a package that was from the same company. Looked like they operated on the same frequency, so I put batteries in it, and the other one I, turned it off and turned it on, and lo and behold, it started working. So I hung it back out in the yard, and it seemed to be working just fine. And I had about the same temperature today, 47 degrees. This morning, it was really cold outside. I went to the garbage can, and there was a little breeze, and it was in the 40s. And man, I didn't have a coat on. I just had what I have on now. Put a hat on because there was sprinkling rain a little bit. But man, it was really cold. So let's see. Setting our clocks back. I don't look forward to that. I usually get up about 6:30. I wake up in the morning. I don't know. I guess it'll be 5:30 from now on. I wake up in the morning or something, according to the clock. So I don't know how that'll work out. I'll see how it works out tomorrow. I'll set a couple of clocks back tonight, and probably the rest of them tomorrow. Let's see. That's about it, I think. So back to that, KD7QKU. Came in for a second. I'm seeing a picture, wait, but it's frozen.
W7ITL, do you have a response for Ron, KD7QKU?
I may have not heard all of his response. It says his image is coming in. It didn't change anything. But next round, just see if you can get in on the 70 centimeter run. I think you should be fine on that. That's all I have for comment.
W7ITL, thanks for that, Wade, for the comment. Well, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK, with the cleanest ham shack in the Northwest.
It's getting there, which is really nice. It still doesn't look pretty, but at least it's, I have places to put pencils down on a desk in front of me, and I got a place for my keyboard and my mouse for my computer. Time change. I got an oven that needs to be changed manually, but pretty much everything else is like computers or my network box and stuff like that. Keeps track of everything else, so that's pretty nice. The old days of changing clocks, that was always the hunt and find. And then the other part of time changes. That means when I'm driving, I'll be in the dark 1 more hour than I normally am. I think the sun went down the other day at like 6 o'clock. So Monday it'll be at 5 o'clock. let's see. Well, we have this little Dell Inspiron computer that Sylvia uses. She hasn't been using it for a while because she has a bigger, faster, nicer computer. So this is kind of sat in the corner, plugged in, and it was giving hard drive messages saying it was getting full by just sitting there. Probably updates and stuff like that, but it was happening and we weren't using it. Well, it stopped working completely. So we turn it on and it would boot up and then it started blinking and we couldn't actually access anything because the whole computer was blinking. Well, I was able to turn it off, turn it back on by and pressing the F12 button a whole bunch of times, so the F12 up at the top, and to get the the boot things you can do with a failing computer. And I ran it through a test, and it came back and said it had a 0312 code that happened to be the battery. And we knew the battery wasn't good because it was all bulging out inside. So we thought, let's just unplug that battery and plug the whole thing back in. So that's what we did. And now it works great. And we also had a 5 terabyte external hard drive we could take and shuffle a bunch of stuff off there. So the hard drive is nice and clear, clearer than it was at least. About 40 gigs clear. So if you ever have a problem with the computer, there are ways of figuring out what it wants. And this was a quick, easy fix after we figured it out. That's what I got for you right now. KF7, USK.
Jessica, KF7 UHK, thanks for that. You are a candidate for the Geek Squad up north, so we'll be keeping in touch with you for that if we have any problems with our computers. But let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Give me just a second. Through Discord. Oh, man, I'm all orange again. Oh, well. I'm not going through Discord right now to get to the repeater, but I've turned on my video on Discord so those people watching there can see me. Yeah, wiring cleanup. I'm looking at my desk, and I've been thinking for a while I need to do that, and I certainly do. On the floor, too, but it's also all over my desk. And, it's the typical thing. It's like, I just need to set this up, and then more wires get added, and nothing is organized. And so as I make changes and set things up, the wiring keeps getting worse and worse. So, yeah, that's in my future. The Tesla truck, that is really interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of with Ron. I think they're extremely ugly. And when I saw it in person, same thing. I was surprised. It doesn't show up so much when you see pictures, but it's bigger than I expected and higher off the ground than I expected. So, I mean, at least it's got that going for it. But I'm not a fan. I'm really curious about your driving experience. Sewing is one of those things that I kind of, wish I had learned and just never really did. I mean, I've done some sewing by hand, anybody can do that, at least at a very basic level. But a friend of mine, when I found out he had a sewing machine, I thought it was kind of odd until I realized, oh man, it's really useful. And he uses it, and he has short legs, so he needs to modify the clothes he buys, So he will buy, rather than going to a specialty shop and paying twice as much, he'll buy the clothes and then hem them up himself. And so he gets good use out of that sewing machine, and he knows what he's doing. And I kind of envy him that, I have to say, in hindsight. I thought I had one other thing. Oh, the being at home. Yeah, James. This side effect from the drugs acted up again tonight, so I decided not to be stranded out in a car and have a problem. And so I'm at home. And being at home made me think of, those of you, a few of you might remember years ago there was when a few projects were trying to harness all of the PCs, the idle PCs that people had at home. Like there's a folding at home for medical research, and there was one called SETI at home to help analysis of data for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, which is, abbreviated SETI. And Zenly came up with a very clever web page, which I looked for and couldn't find. I don't know if it's still out there, but it was called Yeti at Home. And so they wanted to harness all of the PCs of the people in the country and the world. So they wanted you to turn on your webcam and have it pointed outdoors so that if a Yeti happened to walk by, you could record it. So I just thought that was a very clever thing. Anyway, that's what I've got tonight. Back to net, K9PQ.
K9PQ, Bob, thanks for that technology report. Let's go to Richard, K7ATS, down in Arizona.
Okay. Sorry about that delayed reaction here. I don't envy your situation down there or up there. I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, going back to Pacific Standard Time. Here in Arizona, we're Mountain Standard Time 12 months out of the year. So where Pacific Daylight Savings Time and Mountain Standard Time in Arizona were exactly the same, now it won't be, because we're not going to mess with our clocks and you are. So I'm sorry about that. As you can tell, I'm real sorry. So anyway, and then James, your self-driving truck experience. Yeah, no, I'm. They have those down here. They have the Teslas, but what is very intriguing is Waymo, these self-driving chauffeur taxi cars or Uber cars, self-driving. And you would think, okay, they're self-driving, so they've been programmed to be real safe. No, they're not very safe. They will cut in front of you. You have to jockey with these self-driving cars just if there is a real human in there full of road rage at times. I don't know if they'll ever make it to Seattle, though, with all the hills and things. Here in Phoenix, seems like there's hundreds of them. Just literally, it's not unusual to see 3 or 4 in a single block when you're driving along. And I don't know. I'll probably get one sometime just for the novelty of it. But it would be a little unnerving, that's for sure. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, and then Waymo, I guess, didn't work. It hasn't worked out too good in the Bay Area. Some of the people there, they'll put cones. They'll put a traffic cone on top of the hood of the Waymo, and it gets really confused when that happens. So let's see. The brother-in-law is down with my sister-in-law, Debbie's brother, this week. So they're going to come over to our place tomorrow. They're staying at a Worldmark resort somewhere in the mountains around here, and they're going to bring their skip-bow cards. So I don't know if you ever heard of skip-bow. It's a card game, and it's a good card game for couples. Don't ask me what it's like, because I'm not really a card player. Let's see. Oh, and Jessica, boy, am I proud of you. That is fantastic. The F12 key. And now I'm not sure where you got the battery, because quite often the battery will cost as much as a brand new PC. So unless you just had one on your shelf, or maybe Amazon had them for cheap, I don't know. I'm real curious about where you got a battery that brought your broken computer back to life. I think that's just really, really amazing. And then last but not least, Debbie was very disappointed. One of the neighbor ladies sent a picture of the front of our house where the crows had literally, it looked like someone had taken a spade and just chewed up the whole yard, the middle of it, and they blamed it on the crows. They said all the lawns in the neighborhood are getting murdered by the crows. So I guess it pays to try to use your DDT or whatever it is that kills grub, and maybe that won't happen. So anyway, sorry if I sound a little slow. I'm kind of sleepy like the rest of you guys. K7ITX, back to net control.
And ITX, thanks for that. Let's go on to Wade, W7ITL.
7ITL, just give me a second here where I get the video switched. I don't see it switched yet. It'll just take me just a few more seconds. I just wanted to, oh, here we go. You should see it on YouTube here in just a few seconds. It is slightly delayed. Let's see, I did have an announcement. So Mario from the San Diego DVB Society has been reaching out to me a few times lately, and he let me know tonight that we're actually being broadcasted over his repeater system. So if you're down in California and San Diego, you can see our nets there as well over the repeater. Not sure if that's what's happening, but it sounded like that's what's happening. We're being simulcasted to YouTube and BATC, and that's what's going on. So he's able to pick us up on the BATC feed. Let's see. I wanted to comment on the Waymo. Richard, I was down at BCF West. BCF West is a vintage computer festival. It was back in April down in Silicon Valley, and I saw Waymo there in the museum at the what is it called? It is the CHM Museum, or Computer History Museum, there in Palo Alto. And I also saw one last week when I was in LA with my niece, and I saw that it is definitely aggressive. It was cutting and weaving through the LA traffic. It was kind of funny watching it go, how efficient it was getting through the traffic. Let's see, I think that's it. I might have some more things to show in the next round. I'm going to see if I have enough time between now and the next time I'm up to put something on my desk here for to show you for kind of a show and tell. This is some of my gear I like to wanted to show off. So with that said, I'll turn it back to Ned. This is Wade, W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks for that. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, I used to use iron-on patches as well. I have not tried it for many years, but they worked really well. Don't know what happened, but they used to work great. I'm not exactly sure where you'd get them nowadays, probably because it seems like it's become fashionable to just leave holes present in jeans and whatnot. So might have to go like to the dollar store and pay $1.25 for those things now. But yeah, I used to use them. Thanks for mentioning the Tesla truck. I was kind of attracted to looking at those not too awfully long ago. What I liked about it is that supposedly you could go up to it and whack it with a sledgehammer, and it doesn't hurt the truck. I guess as long as you don't hit the window. Anyway, it has a yoke instead of a steering wheel. Now that sounds exciting. I'm not sure I'd really want to try to drive that. I wonder what if the computer processes your input, or if it's highly sensitive, or if it has sort of a logarithmic change as you rotate the yoke. I don't know. I don't particularly want to find out. My wife won't let me get one anyway. She said it's too ugly. But at least it has a yoke instead of a stick. That would have been really exciting if they tried to put a control stick in there. Okay. And a phone call to me is not going to be necessary. Somehow I will automatically awaken at about that time of night in order to urinate. That kind of happens as we get older. So phone call not necessary. It will just wake my wife, and she would certainly whack me for that. Dave, tomorrow might be a good day for Wade and Bob to go by. The last I saw, the weather guesser said that it will be dry tomorrow. So Wade and Bob, take your rain gear just in case. We know how that works. Let's see. Oh, Dick, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that about Waymo. I've seen that on television. It just seems to me that maybe there are some bugs which need to be worked out. I guess maybe people would react to sudden aggressive driving of the vehicles. I can't help but wonder if that might actually instigate some accidents. So I'd like for them to work out some bugs. But I guess they have grounded those in some cities, like someone pointed out. And crows, yeah. There are lots of crows around my neighborhood as well. I don't know if they are destroying the turf, but they do occasionally make some noise on the roof of the house. I'm not sure, but I think they're going in the gutters and trying to get some bugs that might be camped out temporarily in the gutters. Yep, crows are a problem. And they scream a lot around here, too. They are very vocal. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, let's go to James, WW7ATS.
Well, here's your tidbit on crows for tonight, Jim. That's actually a regulated game bird in the state of Washington, which I did not know until a friend of mine down in the Kent area said he wanted to shoot some crows, and I said that's not a good idea because of where his house is at. What goes up must come down, and that includes lead particles. But then when I was researching this out, that's when I found out that a crow is a regulated game bird in the state. So I don't know. I do know that they can be pretty destructive sometimes. I'd heard also, he told me about how the grubs, they chew up the lawn to get the grubs out or something. I recall in North Texas, it was something to do with agriculture, but there were kids, all over North Texas shooting them, 50, 60 years ago. The outside of the giant Tesla truck, I would describe it as ugly and big, but the seats inside were almost, I would describe as luxurious. I mean, there's plenty of leg room, nice seat belt. Inside it, the only odd thing about it is there's just nothing like what you're used to seeing in a car. There's no instrumentation. There's just a computer screen. If anything happens to that computer screen, you are grounded, which I don't like that idea. Also, it's very obvious the whole vehicle is a computer-controlled vehicle, and Microsoft is, of the three main computers I'm using most of the time around here, Windows 7, Microsoft absolutely washed their hands of it. Says no support at all, but I got an update the other night anyway, even though they're not supporting it. That was spooky. And then I think this is a Windows 10 machine, but the computer that's on it, this computer can be upgraded to Windows 11, so it's just, I guess this will become my Linux machine then, if that's a good thing to have one around, because it's not the first time I've heard of Linux being able to do things Microsoft Windows can't, because when support ends for this machine, it's a paperweight or it's Linux. I have is the latest and greatest, but the clock's running on it, so I'm wondering how that works with cars, because I was talking with my friend next door who does software work with a large corporation, and he has a car, and it does all sorts of cool things, like when you click it locked, and if it's Halloween, it makes little spooky Halloween noises, like hooting owls or little ghost noises or something like that. And that's very cute, but how long do they support the vehicle? I mean, at what point does the vehicle say, well, sorry, out of service, and then the car doesn't work anymore? I don't know. And Jessica, yes, bulging batteries, that's a hint. You can probably take care of that or wait till they actually start smoking and burst into flames. I guess it depends on who's it at or how bored I am right now, which I wait for. I'm trying to rejuvenate some sealed lead-acid batteries that didn't get some care, and out of 4 of them, 2 have gone to battery heaven, and 2, though, I think I might be able to get some more life out of. I'll have to see. Now, this is what happens when you don't clean up your desk for a really long period of time. This is a pamphlet that I found, and it's all about the 206 area code split, and there's no date on this pamphlet, but it obviously was published by Boeing because it specifically refers to Boeing campuses and things like that. But that must have been the 90s. So if anybody can remember, when did the 206 area code split occur, where you now have 360 way up north and then 425 all the way up to Everett, but it's still long distance anyway. Remember all that stuff? Because the whole area was 206 at one time. They had to break it up. So that was quite a while ago, but I'm finding things like this as I clean off some of my desks. Let's see, 8:52, 8 more minutes to the top of the hour. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. You can be a real hardcore nerd and tell everyone that as of tomorrow we're on Pacific Standard Time. I was commenting tickets years ago, and that drove everybody crazy. They wanted to know what P, D as in Delta, T meant, Pacific Daylight Time. And I said, well, that's what it is in the summer. But then in the winter, it's PST, Pacific Standard Time. But so the management solution was just to tell everybody, just go PT for Pacific Time. Back to our net control day. Go ahead, take it away.
Thanks for that. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Well, I was in Arizona last January and driving along behind a Whammo self-guided car, and the thing that got to me was there's a rotating disc on the roof that spins around, and it's got little sort of a checkerboard pattern to it as it spins, and it was kind of interesting as I had to drive up close to it and see if it really had a passenger in it or if it had a driver, and it was empty, and it was just going along the street. As I pulled pulled up alongside of it. It didn't try to run me off the road, though. It just let me pass it. So that was kind of interesting to see. And Jim, oh my gosh, an hour extra sleep in the middle of the night, but I'm sure you'll know when to get up at 2:30 in the morning, regular time, so that'll be good. Unfortunately, for Richard, K7ITX, he won't be able to get the extra hour of sleep in the middle of the night. And I was thinking about his lawns getting ripped up. When I was in Arizona, every once in a while, this time of the year, the javelinas would come out to the areas and sort of root in the grass yards. And you might be confusing javelinas with crows, and as they come and visit the property in the middle of the night. Little critters, well, not little critters, the wild little critters, really do a lot of damage to lawns. So that's about it. And I was thinking, boy, with that Tesla truck, could that replace the presidential beast? Since it's hardened the windows and the sides, so maybe that will be the next generation of the presidential limousine. So anyway, that will be something to look forward to. But depending on how the election goes, Air Force One might be replaced with a rocket ship. Who knows? This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
7QKU. Well, Wade, I flipped my transmitter on. I don't know if anybody can see my picture or not, but I am transmitting on 70 centimeters. I can see myself. There, I guess I'm getting a picture out. I see it on YouTube, and it looks like it's coming from my little camera that makes my head look egg-shaped. So anyway, my cat Lily, she couldn't take it. I guess she left the yard. She was asleep on the bed, but I think the repeater identifying is too much noise for her. She doesn't like that loud noise. So anyway, I guess I can get a picture out. I just can't get a picture in. Every now and then I get a picture in, but not very often. And my little receiver, the light turns green sometimes for a second, and I get a picture. So let's see. Not a whole lot going on over here. We have to get Joanne ready tomorrow for surgery on Monday morning. She goes in at 11, and I suppose an hour or two after that she'll have her wire fixed in her pacemaker. So we have to put clean sheets on the bed. She has to take a shower, and in a shower in the morning, Monday morning, and then put this disinfectant stuff on. You know, I don't know if some of you have experienced that or not. They used to do that in the hospital, but they don't do it there anymore. You have to do it at home. They send you the bottle of stuff home, and you spray it on yourself, and then put clean clothes on, and then go down there, I guess. James is saying spray it under your arm. So I guess the 70 centimeter signal goes out much better than the 1.2 gigahertz. So anyway, whatever. So all right, well, I guess 73 is everybody, and we'll catch you next time. KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. And we got time for Jessica, KF7UHK for a final.
Quick, good luck to your wife there, Ron. I always get a little nervous before surgery, even if it's something routine, and I've done before, like the eye surgery. I still get nervous beforehand. So I'm sure everything's going to be great, and good luck with that. And on that battery, Richard, actually we didn't replace the battery, we just took it out, and that's what the computer is screaming. We just take out this battery, and so we're just running it off the adapter, and we think that it's been running on that adapter for a long time, and the battery's long since died. So that's what we're actually doing. But yeah, it's F12 will diagnose these things, and then you can, if you actually can get on the internet, you can go to, if you like for Dell, you can put in your tag number, and it will over the wireless, it will diagnose your computer also and see if there's anything else that needs to happen. So far, haven't found anything. All right, 73. everybody, it's good to hear everybody, and we'll see you next time. This is KF7UHK.
UHK. Well, I guess we got time for a few words from Bob, K9PQ, before we terminate the net.
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone in San Diego. My sister used to live there, beautiful city, and it's thank you to Mario for getting us on there. Let's see. Yeah, the battery. I'm with. I'm definitely with James on this. I would get that out of the house as quickly as possible. Taking it out of the computer is not good enough for me. A bulging lithium battery. No. I want that nowhere near me. Other than that, let's see, Richard, that's nice. You don't have to change your clock, but you will have to remember that the net will start at 7 p.m. for you, not 8 p.m. So change your alarm if you have one. And I had a few more things, but it's late, so I'm going to just say 73 to everybody and send it back to Dave, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. And as we wrap up the net for this evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association. Let us use WW7ATS repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So again, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.